All right, so I thought I'd show you guys just an exercise band only workout. I've been using these kind of mixing up with some of the stuff I have, but today I thought I'd just do solely just using the exercise bands. I know some people, this is either all they can afford or they just want some sort of workouts, ideas that if you were just using bands, what would those look like? So I figured it'd help some people out, and I tried to make this, as with all my workouts, make it really efficient, make it really simple. So the workouts are found down below. There's a link down below to this particular pair of exercise bands I purchased. I do think these are the best bands when you consider the price point. I did a whole video on this, but these bands are widely distributed with different companies. They're basically the exact same product, as different price points. This company I think was the cheapest, and they also give you $25 or $20 gift card from Amazon by doing a review. So he's come out to like $9 on Amazon. So that's again why I like these bands. So what I'm starting with here is, and you'll see, watch this to the end, there's some good, I think all these exercises I chose are some good just bread and butter exercises, especially the one towards the end. I just made this one up at the end that I thought was pretty good. But to start with, I just want to do like some sort of deadlifting kind of hinging patterns. And you know, I thought the tension was good. I started basically kind of wrapping around my hand. I tried a few different combinations with the spacing in my feet, where I was holding the actual straps. Sometimes I started crossing the straps, you'll see. But you'll see me essentially messing with different things. This is the first time I'm really doing it. But I'm essentially making a deadlift kind of hip hinge type of pattern. And the very first time I did this, I actually used the door attachment and put it to the bottom of the door, which was fine. I just felt like this was easier this way. I can kind of interchange back and forth with the other exercises I'm throwing in there. Normally I do little circuits with my workouts. This was one I just thought, again, just make it simple, just stay in one exercise at a time, which actually, you know, turned out pretty good. I thought that was, you know, I felt good, even though this workout should take you roughly 20 to 30 minutes. It took me a little bit longer because I had to get on a work call earlier. And again, I'm kind of messing around with things between sets, being a little bit lazy between sets. Otherwise, you could, you know, bust through this really quickly, or you could take your time with this as well. So you can see here, I'm kind of twisting the bands a little bit to create a kind of different type of tension. I don't know, with all these different ones that I tried, I don't know if there was one particular one I liked the most. I think I did a total of 6 sets, if you want to count all these sets that I did. I think you do need a little more work with a lot of the band stuff. You know, it's definitely not the same as full-on resistance from like an external load. With that being said, though, I mean, you can definitely create a lot of tension with these bands, and I don't know if this is even the best way to do it. I'm sure there's better ways to kind of connect these and hold these. You can do a lot of creative things with these bands and the tension. I just left all the tension on there because I just didn't feel like taking the clips off. It gets a little cumbersome and time consuming, probably not that time consuming, but point is, it's going to work. It's going to be a little different for everybody as far as what your preference is. I think on this one, I think I tried crossing them, but I think I realized that's not much tension. Yeah, so you start messing around with some different things. Holding it down where I've been holding it, I basically started to create more tension. I would essentially grab a little bit lower, and in this part I actually kind of cross them right in the middle, so I kind of make like a little, basically trying to make a straight line when I pulled it. This one actually felt pretty good. And the very last set, you'll see me just kind of do feet close together, create a lot of tension, just kind of, you know, do like kind of quarter reps or 3/4 reps to kind of keep tension on my hips. But either way, I thought this does a good job at working the lower back, working the glutes and hamstrings as well. So again, nice solid little exercise, I think. So I'll touch back with you guys on the next exercise. this one I really like. It's just, this is a nice, I think this is the staple exercise to do for legs with these resistance bands. I would say with resistance bands in general, this is probably like my favorite exercise to do with it. Just a very simple squat basically. So I mean, it is a little annoying sometimes, those straps in your arm kind of a little bothersome, but to me, you get for what the tension kind of gives in you. Again, I don't, even though it says 95 pounds, I don't think this is 95 pounds. I don't really care what the weight says on the actual bands, but the point is, this is kind of hard to do. I think I can get average like 10 to 15 reps per set on these, and I think these just feel good. I mean, you can get a nice deep squat, you're coming up, really gets you going as far as like your cardiorespiratory system. I think bands in general kind of do that because you have to kind of accelerate, you know, essentially as it gets harder at the very top. So kind of, in my opinion, I think it kind of increases the cardiorespiratory effect of using these bands. But I just love this exercise, so I just kind of do this for increasing number of sets for this one. This is one of those things that if you really wanted to, you could just work. If you wanted a very, very mindless exercise, I would just grab this exercise and just go to town for as many reps and sets that you feel comfortable with, you know, a given time period. Just put some music on in the background and make a distraction. So a good, very, very solid exercise to incorporate either as a standalone or something just incorporate in your general workouts. About equally challenging with those resistance band squats with these kind of drop step lunges. These are also very challenging for if you're leaving all the straps on there. And originally, one of the very first workout I did with these resistance bands, I just put these straps on the top of a bench and did the exact same thing, like a step up. I think this was just as adequate. I mean, I think the only reason I wasn't using the bench is just because the camera was set up on the bench. Otherwise, I might have done that. But with the bench, I noticed the bands would kind of I wouldn't really get in the right spot. They would get a little kind of tangled when I kind of stepped down. So this to me was fine. It was just very easy to make a nice drop step and kind of stand back up. And again, I thought it really kind of targets your quads, definitely hits your glutes. It's, you know, definitely hamstrings as well. But with all these, you can really focus as much as you want as far as quads and glutes are concerned. But again, very solid exercise. I think on this one, either I was fatigued from before, or I was just being kind of lazy, or it was just kind of hard. Whatever the case, I think I only get like 7. I think I just go for about 7-ish reps on each leg with this one. All right, and for this last one, this was a new one that I kind of just thought about as I was doing it. And again, I don't know if this is how original this really is, if other people have figured this out too, but this actually was pretty good. It was a little weird. You can see me, this isn't the first time me wrapping it because I tried it before I hit play, but basically you're wrapping your foot around the actual bands, and you just got to make sure that both ends of the straps are coming off from the bottom. So you have to wrap it around one more time to kind of get both straps come from the bottom. You kind of see what I mean if you're doing it. Basically, you can't have one strap looping off the top. But it's for the shoulders get a little fatigued. I think like in the last set of these, I was my shoulders were getting a little tired, kind of holding those bands up. But initially, I didn't really notice it. But if anything, you can chalk it up to, you know, you're kind of working your upper body a little bit, just holding that. and it's basically like a single leg press. So, and also then since the knee's coming up so high past the hip, you really get a chance to really engage your glutes a little bit more, especially if you focus on it a little bit. But I thought this was a good exercise. I think it's a good one that's not too hard. It's still definitely challenging, but it's not so demanding that you could still put it towards the end of your workout and it wouldn't, be overly fatiguing. I mean, maybe find a good pair of shoes too. I guess the other thing too, when I first started trying this, I'm not gonna lie, I was nervous. Like, is this thing gonna fly and hit me in the face? These bands gonna come undone and hit me? I mean, the only risk would be if it's so tightly wound and it's wound around the middle of your foot, it's likely not gonna slide off your foot. But yeah, I understand the fear of like, are these things gonna break? And usually with resistance bands, they're giving you ample warning before they actually break. And since you have all these bands connected together, they're getting a lot of the equal stress is getting distributed between all of them. So you should get a warning, is my point. If these things are going to break soon, you'll find out. But yeah, it is a little nerve-wracking as you're pressing. These bands are like right over your face and they can easily slip off. So hopefully it isn't the case. Again, for me, I didn't feel that way. Hopefully this doesn't happen to you. But that was really it, guys. Hopefully this was informative. If you guys want to see any videos that are specific on a certain device, feel free to let me know. I'm tempted. I might do one of these. I might do a band one coming up with upper body. I do like using these bands. However, I'm not saying I would recommend using these things exclusively, but again, I know some people, for whatever reason, do that. Any questions or comments, always let me know down below. It's always helpful if you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, and it's always incredibly helpful just to let me know what kind of stuff you'd want to see, whether workouts or whatever, and I'll try my best to accommodate that. So thanks again, and thanks for watching.